My name is Chris Flory, and my full-time job is as an analyst, contract analyst for the U.S. government. My part-time job is writing crime novels. Well, my latest book is right here, Last Rays of Daylight. It is a sequel to my first book, Trust Misplaced. And in this book, Paul Dodge, the hero, goes to the Caribbean islands for a long-deserved vacation and finds himself mired in dead bodies, drugs, gangs, and cartels, and has to fight his way out of all of those things and try to get justice for the victims. Well, my stories come from me. I spent over 10 years in law enforcement where I specialized in sexual-based offenses and criminal street gangs. So a lot of the things I write about come from the little lockbox in my head that I've jammed the lid shut on a lot of the things that I've seen and had to deal with. So the inspirations really do come from me and what I did, for a living, which kind of is cool because it makes it a lot easier for me to write these stories. I don't have to come up with this new thing. I don't have to build worlds and all of those things that all these fantasy writers do. I have all those things right here. I live in the real world, as seedy as it may have been at times, but that's where my stories come from and that's where my inspiration comes from. A lot of things inspired my main characters. Paul Dodge is the hero in my books, and he is a parole agent, which is something that I used to do, that worked on a sex crimes task force with the local police department where he lives. And those are some things that I've done in my job, and all of those things inspired me to make the character who he was. I like police procedurals, and I like stories about cops and how they deal with crimes and all of those things. Harry Bosch is one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite stories, and I think that I take a lot of these characters that I've read about, and I take all their pros and their faults and how they do things, and then I wrap my character, Paul Dodge, around those, and then I fill in the gaps with me, sort of the way that I wish I could have done things, after seeing, a child be abused. Sometimes I wish I could have just went in there and just kicked the crap out of the person that did it, but I couldn't do that. But in my books, I can. I can take those steps and take those measures to get justice for the victim. And I think that's sort of the thing that inspired my character and how he goes about doing things, the rules he sets for himself, and just the path he puts himself on and how far he's willing to go to get done what he needs. I think the thing that, for me, that I love about writing is doing the job I did and seeing some of the things I saw over my career and having to deal with some of the things that I had to deal with, victims of sexual abuse, rape, the trauma that they suffered, and having to see the pictures and read the police reports and talk to the victims and talk to the offenders, the people that committed these crimes. For me, it's a sense of therapy. That's what I love about it. I have this, as I said earlier, this huge box in my head that I just cram things into and stomp on the lid until I can get it closed. And over, a decade, those things kind of build up and the box gets full. This allows me to crack that lid just a little bit and let some of those stories out. While all my stories are fiction, some of the ideas come from things that I've seen and heard over my career. And I think that's what I like about it the most. It allows me an escape to get away from the bad things that I saw over the years and kind of, make the hinges not so tight on my box. Man, this is simple. Write. Every day, put something down on paper. Even if it's just 100 words, 50 words, you just named a chapter. Get something down on paper. You can't be a writer if you don't write. You know, you can think of ideas all day long, but unless you put them down, you're not a writer. They don't have to be good, they don't have to be edited, they don't have to be anything. You just got to get them down on paper so that, you know, you've taken that step. And just keep going with it and let it happen. You know, if you're a plotster or a pantster, you know, whatever it is, you like to plot things out, you like to fly by the seat of your pants. I'm a pantster. It's what I do. But, you know, outline, do something, get something on paper. I think that's the most important thing. And don't worry about if someone wants to read your stories. Believe me, there's a reader for every story out there. You just got to tell it. And that person will find it. You know, don't let the lack of, you know, a potential audience set you back and make you think that maybe you shouldn't write this story. You should write that story. Someone's going to read it, someone's going to like it, and someone's going to need that story. And that's what you got to do. You got to write it and get it out there. That's the best advice I can give you. Just don't quit. Well, my book is published by Light Messages Publishing, Torchflame Books, and you can buy my book on Amazon, you can buy my book on Barnes & Noble, you can buy it on Kobo, you can buy it on Google Books, on Apple Books. It's pretty much on every single platform. It is also in the Barnes & Noble stores in the area I live in, Northern Virginia. They actually have hard copies, and it's also in the library system in Fairfax County, Virginia. They have 4 copies of each of my novels right here behind me that they have in the library. So you could buy my book just about anywhere you buy books. So go on out and get a copy of Last Rays of Daylight or Trust Misplaced. Find out about Paul Dodge. Learn about the kind of guy he is and how he handles cases and how he gets justice for the victims. And, you know, read my stories, and if you like them, you like them. If you don't, it's okay. Not everybody has to like my books, but I think you're going to like them because Paul Dodge is a great character, and my stories are thrilling, and they wrap you in the suspense and in the moment, and there's always a nice little twist in there just to, you know, get you off beat and make you go another direction when you thought you weren't going to go there. So pick up Last Rays of Daylight and Trust Misplaced at anywhere you can buy books on the internet or in person. Thank you.